I am the darkness. I am the darkness. I am the darkness. I'm Birdman. Yep, I just did all those impressions for you because, as you can probably tell by the title, I am reviewing Birdman, and unfortunately, once again, I don't have my sunglasses, so bear with me. But I just thought I'd give you my review. This is going to be pretty brief since, again, I have my written review, and I feel like most of what I have to say has already been said because I'm with pretty much the majority of the people on this film in that who are giving this film mad critical praise. Like, I don't usually look at reviews, but I can tell this film is big, and yeah, with good reason. It's really good. Actually, fun story. I was going to probably see this film tomorrow, but because I wanted to see American Sniper because it was playing in theaters, but it actually sold out, which never happens with the local theater. I mean, if it happens like when I get there, but this sold out like 3 hours, so guess that film's getting Oscar buzz. So anyway, so I decided to see Birdman, and yeah, it was really, really good. And again, just gonna warn you, I'm probably gonna say more or less what everyone else is gonna say. So again, if you don't want, again, if you think this review's lame and unoriginal, I understand. But again, so I'm just gonna make this quick because again, I don't want to sound like a broken record. So, film, in case you don't know, it's about this washed-up actor who used to have a successful career as a superhero named Birdman. He did a couple films, and now he's on Broadway in the show, and this could be his chance to be rediscovered. And the actor's played by Michael Keaton, of course, because of the similarities between the character and his career. Although I think Michael Keaton is still pretty well known. I mean, I'm okay. I didn't know about Michael Keaton until recently, but that's because I never really paid much attention to the Batman films. But I digress. So, it's a really well-made film. I mean, it's one of those films with nice social commentary. It's questioning things. You know, it's like about our entertainment industry, about the world of acting and entertainment. It gives us a really relatable, really likable protagonist played by Michael Keaton, who does an amazing job in here. Like, he really deserves an Oscar. And on top of that, the film also has this supernatural element to it that I was really kind of weirded out by. But the brilliant thing about the film is that it never makes it clear if the supernatural elements, if they're real or if they're inside the character Michael Keaton's head. Like, I'm just going to call him Michael Keaton because he's essentially playing himself, except I think I'd like to think Michael Keaton's a bit better off than this. But the film's really good at making you question, is this all this supernatural stuff Keaton does every now and then, is this real or is this in his head? There's this whole illusion versus reality thing going on, which is really well done. And again, the characters are really good. I mean, the only one I really wound up connecting with was Michael Keaton's character, but everyone in this movie was just fucking amazing. Keaton's definitely locked for Best Actor, and yeah, I'm rooting for everyone else to get support. Actually, no, I mean, J.K. Simmons deserves Best Supporting Actor. But yeah, Emma Stone. Do I even need to say Emma Stone and Edward Norton were really good in this movie? Because they were. I mean, they were great in everything. Zach Galifianakis. Fucking awesome. Like, it's weird seeing him in a dramatic role after playing Hangover. After the Hangover movies, but he did such a good job. Like, redeems himself in this movie the way from what I understand, I think Kristen Stewart is, and Still Alice, which they played the trailer for it right before, and I'm thinking, wow, Kristen Stewart actually isn't that bad of an actress, just as long as she's not in the shitty Twilight movies, or at least I think they're shitty from what I hear, but I digress. So again, really good. Highlight, of course, is the cinematography and the directing, which this film I better get some direction cinematography. I mean, I know Richard Linklater is getting Oscar buzz for Boyhood, but this is amazing. I mean, if you haven't heard about it yet, this really isn't going to ruin anything, but this film gives the impression of being shot in one take. And if you don't know what I mean by this, it means where, you know how in films, like when you want to transition between scenes, they'll usually cut, or if people are talking, they'll cut back and forth. This film gives the illusion that it never cuts. The camera's just always moving from one character's face to another. It's rotating and going through the door. In fact, let me show you it for people who don't understand it. This is a rough. See how I'm moving the camera around? Sorry about that. Well, it's a bit more professional than that. But yeah, that's basically it. And this could have easily just been a gimmick just to get by, but it wasn't. It was. I mean, okay, first off, it looked fucking amazing. Like, remember the opening tracking shot to Gravity? This is basically it. But it not only does it. But it wasn't just a gimmick. I mean, first off, you had great characters and stories, so you couldn't just say, oh, the whole film is just centered around this one gimmick, which some people complain Boyhood's just a gimmick. I disagree. I liked it, but what my point is that this isn't just a gimmick. It actually adds to the film. Like, it really creates this immersive experience. It makes this feel like a living world. You really get sucked into the world, and you feel like you're there. This whole set feels like a character, and on top of that, it's also just movie magic. I mean, you're stuck there wondering how in the world did they pull this off. I'm actually really interested to know that. I'm gonna probably look it up once I'm done making this. But even when the camera's not moving, which, oh yeah, by the way, if you have like motion sickness, I probably wouldn't recommend watching this because the camera's moving around a lot and you might feel a little off. There's a person in my family who has like easily motion sick, so yeah, I mean, if you're watching this, don't see the movie. You're gonna probably, but I digress. But even when the camera's not moving around that much, the shots in this film are still really good. There are some really impressive shots in this film that they were able to get just by moving the camera, and I'm just like, wow. And also the film has some great soundtrack and visual effects, of course. And that's pretty much it. There's one more thing I'd like to talk about, and it has nothing to do with the film itself. In fact, it could be a spoiler, but it's just something I'd like to point out. And that is the trailer for this film. And I'll have a link to that trailer in the description, so if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you don't know what I'm talking about, again, there'll be a link in the description, but I often complain, well, more so in my Amazing Spider-Man 2 review, I complain about how the trailer for that film, it gave away too much, it ruined the movie. The trailer for this film, at least the one I'm talking about, was brilliant. In that, not only did a lot of the scenes in the trailer come from the ending of the film, but you had no idea it was the ending of the film. But not only that, even if you knew that, even if I'm telling you right now, oh, a lot of these scenes in this trailer are from the end of the film, it still doesn't ruin anything, because you have no clue what's going on, you don't understand the context. Like, even if you get to that point, you don't know, you're not thinking, it's like when Spider-Man, I'm like, oh wait, they're gonna end on that shot they showed in the trailer. Oh, the movie's not over because this major character hasn't showed up yet. Here, you don't even understand it. I mean, the only flaw in the marketing, I'd say, is they show the Birdman character in it, who is a sort of his consciousness, figment of his imagination, kind of like Gustave was in Ratatouille or whatever. I need to stop comparing myself to movies too much because I might just confuse whoever's watching this. But so that's one thing where I'm like, okay, maybe you shouldn't have shown that in the trailer. I mean, like, it's not in the movie that long, and it's just cool to see him. But at the same time, it's like, I get it. You need to drag people in. And honestly, I mean, I'd rather them just show Birdman than just show, like, something big that happens, like something that's clearly the climax or something like that. And that's it. I really don't have that much to say, except I'd highly recommend checking this film out. It's definitely getting all the Oscar buzz it does for a reason. And that's a really good film. I mean, if you're doing Oscar homework, definitely check this out. I mean, even if you're not, if you just want to see a really good film, I'd recommend checking this out. Although, I don't feel it... I don't feel like I should have to say this, but I'm just going to say it anyway. Don't bring your kids to this film. It's not for them. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's rated R. I mean, the theater I went to, they didn't check my ID, but I'm pretty sure it's rated R. There is sex. Wait. I'm trying to... No, I don't think there was sex, but there's a lot of adult, mature content that kids shouldn't be seeing. Well, at least I feel kids shouldn't be seeing. Also, it's a very mature, dramatic film. I mean, there's like comedy in it, but it's a very serious film, and there's a lot of sitting down talking. And most little kids, I think, will probably find that boring. And you're probably saying to yourself, well, what? Not yourself. You're probably asking, why am I bringing this up? That's pretty obvious. Yeah, well, at the theater I went to, there was a little kid at the theater, which is crazy. I mean, now I don't know the story. Maybe the dad didn't know. Maybe the parent didn't know that this was going to be this kind of movie. Maybe he couldn't find a babysitter, but he really needed to see the film. I don't know the stories, but for whatever reason, he brought this kid to a movie that clearly wasn't up his alley. And the reason why I knew is because he essentially, and yeah, you can pretty much just skip to the end, stop watching here if you want, because I'm just talking about audience etiquette again, like in Interstellar. It won't be much of a rant this time, don't worry. But anyway, I could clearly tell because he was fidgeting around, like, and people fidget around in movies all the time. You have to shift your seat, reach down, grab a water bottle, but usually it's just an every now and then thing, and don't do it, miss. But this kid was moving around a lot. He was leaning here, he was leaning there, he was like going like this, nuzzling the back of his dad's head. Like, he was moving around a lot. Like, I say like a lot, don't I? But he was moving around a lot. He was just moving. Yeah, I'm just sounding like a bird. But point is, he was moving around a lot. Like, not to a point where it's, you occasionally shift to be uncomfortable, but he was moving around like he was really bored and he really wasn't into it. So, if you're watching this and you have kids, don't bring them. They're not going to be into it. They're just going to get bored and probably be irritated. And you're just going to distract the people around you, such as myself, who had to watch this little kid just squirming around. And again, I don't blame the kid. It's a kid. I mean, I've gone to movies before I've been bored, but usually it's something that interests me. Like, I walked out of Inspector Gadget, but to be fair, Inspector Gadget was a terrible movie. I found out later from critics. I haven't seen it again or all the way through, but oh, come on, like, he dies in a car crash and he has like arms he's like gadgets come out his body. I mean, that's scary in live action. I mean, even when I saw when the cartoon was okay, but with the real thing, it's like, ugh. But even so, but again, that was a kid's movie. I mean, it's something I should enjoy. I mean, this is an adult film. I don't understand why you'd bring a kid there, and I mean, I'm even more yeah, but I understand why you'd bring a kid. So again, just a courtesy, I want to say a courtesy, but just keep in mind, this isn't a kid's movie. There's stuff in there that kids shouldn't be seeing, or you're probably going to get a lot of questions after this. And even so, again, though, it might be boring. Even so, just, smart to set our, I mean, no, I don't even want to get in the R-bait. Point is, just don't do that. But again, yeah, really good movie. I highly recommend you check it out. I'm going to have a link to my written review in the description below in case you want a more in-depth look at what I thought, although I pretty much said everything I wanted to say here. And also, it's in progress, so it'll probably be up within like a half hour of when this review goes up. And that's all I have to say. So, if you have something to say about Birdman, please comment below and let me know. Did you like it? Especially if you didn't like Birdman, please tell me your opinion. I'm really curious to hear the other side. Like, I'm really curious to know if anyone out there doesn't like Birdman, why they didn't like it. Because, it's always interesting to hear the other side. So, I don't have much to say. So, with that, I'm just going to sign out. And man, did I ramble. But that's what I do. So, anyway, take care. And if you haven't seen this movie yet, go fucking see it. It's amazing.